Welcome to Travel Adventures with Eric B. And I am Eric B. And today we're going to talk about museums. That's right, folks. We're going to talk about museums. Museums are a big part of our travel. And you know, it's become a bigger part of mine the past few years as I've learned to appreciate history and museums more and more over the last so many years. So this is an opportunity to sit back and maybe you can see some museums in this countdown that you've been to and appreciated. Maybe you haven't been to some of these museums and you want to go. So here's an opportunity for us to get together as a travel community to sit back, relax, check out some places, and enjoy some travel. Maybe get some ideas and help us to grow a little bit. So here we go. It's museum time. Number 15, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Cleveland, Ohio. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was very enjoyable for me. Located in downtown Cleveland on the shores of Lake Erie, just blocks away from the Cleveland Browns Stadium, the museum documents not just the history of rock music, but includes hip-hop pioneers, R&B, as well as pop music. The building was established in 1983 by the founder and chairman of Atlantic Records. Number 14, Tate Modern, London, England. The Tate Modern is an absolute beautiful modern arts gallery in London, England, which holds the national collection of British arts from the 1900s to the present, as well as many international modern art pieces, as well as all different types of contemporary art. The Tate Modern is one of the largest museums of contemporary art in the entire world. Number 13, John F. Kennedy Presidential Library, Boston, Massachusetts. I've been to five other presidential libraries, but the JFK Library is my favorite of all, and it's mainly because of the location. The location is absolutely beautiful. It is out on the water and a great location right next to the University of Massachusetts at Boston. The building itself cost $20.8 million to build, opened back in 1979, and it was rededicated in 93. Number 12, Hockey Hall of Fame, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. The original Hockey Hall of Fame opened in Kingston, Ontario, but the current Hockey Hall of Fame, located in downtown Toronto, opened in 1993. The Hockey Hall of Fame is dedicated to the history of ice hockey, holds exhibits about players, NHL teams, records, memorabilia, NHL trophies, including Lord Stanley's trophy you can take a picture with. The Hockey Hall of Fame is enjoyable even if you're not a hockey fan. Number 11, the Sixth Floor Museum, Dallas, Texas. The Sixth Floor Museum at Delaney Plaza, formerly known as the Texas Depository, at the corner of Elm and Houston Street, located at the very spot where Lee Harvey Oswald on November 22nd, 1963 shot former President John F. Kennedy in his motor cave. And you can see the exact spot as the street is marked with an X at the exact spot where Kennedy was shot. And you could stand in the exact same window behind the book display. Number 10, Royal Ontario Museum, Toronto, Ontario. Royal Ontario Museum, or the ROM, is a museum of art and world culture as well as natural history. Everyone knows it for its dinosaurs. The dinosaurs are the most impressive thing you would say, but this building has over 6 million items, a whole lot more than dinosaurs, over 40 galleries. The museum is very diverse, with collections ranging from Europe to Africa to Asia, with fossils everywhere. The museum itself was built between 1910 and 1914 and had structures added between 31 and 32. Number 9, Broad, Los Angeles, California. This contemporary arts museum, located in downtown Los Angeles, California, cost $140 million. The museum is absolutely free to go in. You just have to make sure you go online and book your tickets and set your time. There are must-see displays in this place. Over 2,000 pieces, 200 modern art pieces, including a very large table as you see on that picture. You see the Michael Jackson display with the monkey. There's just so much fun in this building. I love it. I could be here all day. Number 8, National World War II Museum, New Orleans, Louisiana. The National World War II Museum in New Orleans, formerly known as the D-Day Museum, is a military history museum founded back in 2000 on D-Day. The museum emphasizes American history experiences from the World War II perspective. The museum has expanded over time from just World War II to a building dedicated to the Pacific War, a building dedicated to Boeing fleet, and then more construction. In 2007, TripAdvisor rated this museum as the #2 museum in the United States and the #2 museum in the entire world. Number 7, Museum of Pop Culture, Seattle, Washington. The Museum of Pop Culture is a museum completely dedicated to popular culture. It was founded by Paul Allen, the co-founder of Microsoft, back in the year 2000. The location is near the Space Needle in the Seattle Center. But my favorite part of the entire museum is the horror movie exhibits. The horror movies exhibits are absolutely phenomenal, as you see on some pictures right here. The exhibit, I could literally stay in the horror movie exhibit all day. I'm a horror movie lover, so if you love horror movies, there's a lot of exhibits with music and all different types of culture, but if you love horror movies, the horror movie exhibit itself would make this one of the best museums. Number 6, the British Museum, London, England. The British Museum is free to enter. Founded in 1753, the human history, art, and culture in this museum is massive. Over 8 million permanent works in this building. This is one of these buildings, this is one of these museums that you can literally spend all day in and not even see half of it. But my favorite part is the mummies. The mummies. The mummies are worth it to me, just to go see the mummies if nothing else. But the setting's phenomenal, and the amount of art, you literally could spend all day and not scratch the surface. Number 5, the Henry Ford Museum, Dearborn, Michigan. This museum was strictly the biggest surprise to me, because when I went to Dearborn, Michigan, I was all excited to see the Ford plant right across the street, and this was a throw-in. Well, the throw-in was a lot better than the actual reason I went, because this museum was so much better than the actual Ford plant. What a great surprise. Most underrated on the list. And you talk about a great collection, an amazing collection. Presidential limos, Rosa Parks bus, the Wright brothers plane. I was absolutely blown away by this museum. I spent a long time there, and I could go there and spend a whole day or two. Number 4, 9/11 Museum, New York, New York. Emotionally, when you come to the 9/11 Museum in New York, be prepared to leave with a few tears, maybe many tears in your eyes, as the exhibits in this building will tug at your heart. What an amazingly well done building. The museum and the memorial itself commemorating the September 11, 2001 attacks, which killed 2,977 people. And also the 1993 World Trade Center bombing, which killed 6 people. The memorial is located at the very sites of the old Twin Towers. You can go outside and see the names and the fountains exactly where the building used to be, or you could go into the beautiful exhibit halls and enjoy the museum, and you will cry. Number 3, Civil Rights Museum, Memphis, Tennessee. I've made 2 trips to the National Civil Rights Museum in Memphis, Tennessee. The first one was when I was in elementary school. The second one more recently in 2019. The Civil Rights Museum is built around the former Lorraine Motel, which is where the assassination of MLK Jr. took place back in 1968. The adjacent properties and 2 buildings are part of the museum. The building has the replica Greyhound bus destroyed by white supremacists during the Freedom Ride. Also, the bus Rosa Parks refused to move to the back of, in the very same room that Martin Luther King Jr. stayed in. Number 2, the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Canton, Ohio. As a huge football fan, going to the Pro Football Hall of Fame and going into this building has always been a dream of mine. So when I had the opportunity to go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame back in 2017, it was as great as I felt like it would be. Being in that building as a true NFL fan, this building opened in 1963. 346 members into the Hall of Fame, 189 that are still alive. But to see the gold jackets that all of the stars have been immortalized in, to watch all the induction ceremonies over the years and all of the iconic speeches, this building just really left me speechless just being here. Number 1, the Louvre, Paris, France. This one was a no-brainer because the Louvre Talk about the greatest museum in the world. 2019, the last normal year, we had this place saw 9.6 million visitors, most in the world. I visited back in February of 2020, and you want to talk about amazing. This building is 227 years old, built back in 1793. The building itself is housed in the Louvre Palace, which is built inside the Louvre Castle, which was built back in the 12th and the 13th century. 380,000 objects, over 30,000 works in the Louvre. There's no question of all the famous and fantastic works, the Mona Lisa is going to be the most popular in the Louvre, one of the most popular and most valuable paintings in the world. Leonardo da Vinci worked on the Mona Lisa from 1503 to 1519. The Mona Lisa is worth an estimate $650 million in 2018 for that oil painting. That's a lot of money. And my favorite piece by far at the Louvre was the Winged Victory, or the Goddess of Victory, also called Nike or Victory. The 2nd century BC Hellenistic sculpture. This marble sculpture is just awe-inspiring. Hey, and that's it, folks. I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope you enjoy this type of material. I ask that you please hit the like, the subscribe button, and the bell notification so that we can continue to keep making this great material and we can keep growing as a travel community, because I appreciate each and every one of you. And as always, remember, live today, grow today, tomorrow's never guaranteed. Peace!